Okay, once again, before I was technically interrupted, yes, this is once again your soul brother Talib, coming back at you live, back at you in a pre-recorded video. Just talking about this sister by the name of Tangee, who brother Angel Snup Snup 7 of Reality Temple Ministries posted in a video on his channel, and she spoke about a situation regarding Father's Day, which the brother based this video title on, in that video that she spoke in, and regarding how fathers neglect their responsibility, and basically, particularly when she was talking about soul brothers, of course, and how they neglect their responsibilities as fathers, but want to be looked upon when Father's Day come around like they deserve, to be treated as a father when they're not actually acting like fathers, and which I could agree with. And of course, though I'm not a father myself, but as a soul brother, I could basically relate to where she coming from, because black men do a lot of cowardly things, and even ones that are not fathers, and by neglecting their responsibility, it's just being a man, as far as being protectors of our women and children, so I could imagine that, being a father and not showing that responsibility of being a father is definitely acting out of the character of a coward, which I agree with what the sister was talking about, and, I mean, it's sad, because, while our young youth running around out in the streets amok, doing the ignorant stuff that they doing, comes from the negative influences that black fathers leave behind, whether they go to their early graves or end up in prison somewhere, or end up strung out on drugs and stuff, or end up in other different relationships with other women, and stuff like that and whatnot, And I mean, it's what the sister was talking about, how they neglect their responsibility of being a parent, and not doing their part to fulfill their responsibility of what a parent should be to a child, And so, like I said, I agree with where the sister was coming from with that, And she spoke some things, that was very touching, because I mean, it even made me look at myself as a man, and me not being a father. It touched me in different areas where it actually made me take a look at my own self personally, and like, what am I doing to even fulfill my obligation as just being a soul brother. Although I'm not a father, but I do have a grandniece and grandnephews, Huh. And I mean, it's like, I'm, 1,000 some miles apart from them, across different state lines, separated from them, of course, and I'm not there, to help watch over them or anything, although they are being parented, by their father, stepfather, and mother, but still, I'm not there to participate, and being a part of them growing up, and that's, of course, because of the decisions that I made in my own personal life. But however, she made me take a look at myself, in certain ways. Like I said, although I'm not a parent, but in ways I can relate to what she was saying, because we all, as soul brothers, do share responsibility in the upbringing of our youth in the community. And one thing I do have to say is this: is that although other dark skinned people around the world have their own problems like dark skinned people here in America do, like referring particularly to those dark skinned people on the continent of what's called present day Africa. One thing about them is that they pride themselves in the strong importance of raising children, which, black people in the United States don't do. And that's just a fact, as someone would say. And, which is one reason why youth is out of control, because the father is nowhere around, to take charge, and while many of our mothers are left by themselves to raise kids on their own, is why, there is a lot of problems in our communities when it comes to mass incarceration, when it comes to, just things being out of control in the household as well, of course, and why young brothers end up the way that they are, in terms of having low character, not having self-respect or respect for others, and it's because they're lacking, that father parenting in their lives, and like I said, that has a lot to do with it. And of course, like I said, my sperm donor wasn't always there for me. And because of that is why, the effects of it show even today in my own life, even at 51, going on 52 years old. So like I said, I mean, this is an everlasting impact in, having a father or not having a father in one's life does have an everlasting impact. And, I could understand where the sister was coming from when she was speaking about these things, in a video, regarding, how fathers, in the black community neglect their responsibility as far as caring for their children, even if they're not with their child's mother, and, I really felt her 1000% on the fact that just because the father is not with the child's mother or have indifferences with the child mother does not mean that he should neglect that child, that came out the union of him and that mother, And, I could definitely understand that point, hands down, and, I have to definitely salute the sister, because you don't get too many sisters in social media that passionately get out there and really express themselves like I saw this sister express herself about where her true feelings or where she stands at on fathers not being responsible for their children. Now, you do have some women who will, like her, openly get out in social media and express their feelings, their true, deep-hearted feelings about this, but not on a regular basis. And because mothers hold this in, is one of the reasons why they emotionally become distraught and end up getting caught up in drug addiction and other different things, like the sister was saying, and because of the fact that it does have something to do with the way that black men neglect their responsibilities as far as being husbands as well as fathers, and that does play a part in the effect of why our soul sisters, act the way that they act when it comes to low esteem and low character and stuff like that, and I mean, I understand that. And that's why I don't blame our sisters for the way that they act uncharacteristically, especially when it comes to acting out in an ignorant manner in the way that they do, even to the point where, soul sisters, have even became more, negatively, uncharacteristically, violent toward each other, and especially toward men, and have become even worse than men when it becomes to them being aggressive and violent, is because of the influence that soul brothers have had on soul sisters for a long time in this country, up from slavery, So, I mean, it plays a part. I mean, you got to look at and consider the fact of, how brothers have treated sisters over the years, prostituted them, turned them on to drug addiction, abused them domestically, and like the sisters say, pump babies into them just to leave babies, uh, on them only to care for and not play their part as a parent by caring for these children, like they should. And so I get that, I get that, and I understand that passionately as far as where that Sister Tangee was coming from, in that video, and like I said, I don't know the sister, and I never spoke with her on social media or anything, but I mean, sister, wherever you're at, hopefully you will be listening to this video. And like I have to say, I just want you to know that I salute you for standing out, speaking passionately on, where our brothers are. Because a lot of our soul brothers have neglected their manhood responsibilities as being a father, I mean, there are times I wish I was a father, even though I know, honestly, that I'm not in a position to be one, even in my early 50s, because of my own life choices and decisions. But it would feel good, to know that I helped produce and bringing another human into this world, but that's just not a part of my own personal reality. Okay, and I get that. But however, when these brothers have, help brought, children in the world, like you spoke on about your children's fathers, and stuff like that, and then turn around and neglect them like I was neglected by my sperm donor, and like others were neglected by their sperm donors, in a lot of ways. I mean, like I said, I feel you 1,000%, because I mean, hey, and like you had mentioned, where even the sons grow up to a point when they get to being adults where they want to, kick their daddy's ass, and I ran into quite a number of brothers that have felt that way about their fathers, you know. And I mean, hey, it is what it is, you know. I mean, you know, you help bring somebody in the world and then just to neglect them, you might as well not even laid in bed and had them, you know, if it was going to be that way, you know. And so I get that, you know, and I mean, it's like, yeah, you know, it's really crazy. I mean, you know, because, you know, Father's Day, matter of fact, is coming right around my birthday, you know, in June, you know. So, you know, that's another reason why I thought about it. I said, well, dang, you know, not so much as the reason why I thought about it, but I mean, like I said, because of what the sister was saying in the video was so touching, you know, about this whole situation about father and parenting, you know, when it came to the ideal of Father's Day and how fathers want to be revered during Father's Day and, you know, want to be showered with presents and stuff when they don't even deserve it. You know, like the sister was saying in the video, you know, and I mean, you know, like I say, it is definitely what it is. It is what it is. And I don't, you know, I'll say this, there's a lot of black men out there, you know, that call themselves men and all this and try to promote or put on this persona image about how much of a man they is, but they don't never had nothing to do with their children that they help bring in the world. Don't even want to know them. Even deny that they even had them, you know, and all that kind of stuff. You know, and that's something I definitely can't respect. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't even have children of my own, you know, but they have helped brought many kids in the world and just dumped them off on women, walked off, and then had kids by another woman, did the next woman the same way, and the cycle continues, you know? And then we wonder why these children run around, like I say, better in the streets, you know? Like they have no friend in the world and nobody to lean on. And then they become violent, aggressive, and can't nobody talk to them or nothing, or try to give them any type of advice or help that they need. It's all because of what that father has done. That does definitely have a bearing on their uncharacteristic behaviors toward others, you know. And I'm glad that the sister, you know, made a video to point that type of stuff out, you know, because that type of stuff needs to be heard, you know, all over social media, you know, that really needs to be heard because I mean, these fathers is not really doing nothing for these children, you know. Then you wonder why, like I say, the child, you know what I'm saying, joining the gang at age 12, 13 on up, you know, even earlier than that, you know, or becoming criminals at them early ages, you know what I'm saying, ended up in the hands of the system, even before they reach the age of adulthood, you know, all because the father is not there, you know. I mean, and this is the type of society that we have. This is the type of generation that we face being amongst because of the fact that fathers is not being responsible like they should. You know, so like I said, I get that, you know, and I definitely, you know, like I said, it kind of pisses me off knowing, like I said, and I have to say, I'm not saying that I'm jealous because I'm not a father. All I'm saying is that me knowing that I'm not a father, you know, but I see these other cats who've been able to help produce children, to bring them in this crazy world, but then not to protect them and raise them and be the fathers that they should be. You see, that's what pisses me off. And then I got to walk out in the streets and face these same young kids or babies who might look at me like I'm crazy, as if I am their father, when I don't even have children of my own, because of what their actual biological fathers have done to them in a wrong way, you see. So I mean, this is the type of situation that we face in what those of you call the black community, which of course I don't subscribe to, nor is it any proof that a black community exists, okay? Because we ain't nothing but damn slaves. There ain't no such thing as a community for slaves, okay? But that's another subject for another time as well, far as getting into. But like I said, I mean, it's just crazy when you think about this kind of stuff. I mean, man, you know how fathers just neglect their children any kind of way, don't care, don't care if the child lives or die, you know, you know what I'm saying? I mean, my sperm donor even in his own way encouraged me to drop out of high school. Quiet as kept, and then you even got fathers who encourage their own children to commit crimes and become criminals like they were. Like some of them were, and stuff like that. Even egging them on, talking about get out there, yeah, make that money, and this and that, Yeah, you ain't doing nothing wrong by selling dope. You ain't doing nothing wrong by prostituting women. Why? Because they did it, more than likely. You know what I'm saying? That type of mentality. You know what I'm saying? So then you bring other children in the world, and then that's what you leave behind. Just to leave on other women to have to raise alone and struggle with raising. So this is why I understand why that sister spoke so passionately the way that she spoke. you know, and I mean, she spoke her mind. I just put it that way. I'm not gonna judge what exactly and how exactly she was expressing herself because she just spoke her mind, and which was her right to do so. And anybody that don't like it, far as I'm even concerned, could kick rocks. Because I mean, like I said, there ain't too many soul sisters that get on social media and talk about passionate or important subjects like that when it comes to talking about the importance of parenting, and why parenting is unfortunately the way that it is and why it needs to be corrected from the way that it is. And I mean, hey, it is what it is. And so, that's why I picked this time to really, to talk about that. Because that's something that, like I said, that needs to be that every, soul brother and sister, with especially the children, need to be thinking about. The importance of raising children. Because I mean, look at our, like I said, our youth is running amok. They raising each other on the streets. You got 7, 9-year-olds running the streets together talking about they each other's daddies and mamas. What kind of stuff is that? We ain't never seen no generation like that. But that's what's going on. Because fathers have neglected their responsibilities, you see, to, be fathers. And of course, you got the mothers who've also neglected their responsibilities of being the mothers that they should be, like the sister also, once again pointed out in the video. So, I mean, this, man, this is a cold-blooded situation with this parenting thing, and this and got a lot worse, especially with people with soul in this country. It's definitely got a lot worse over the generations. Like I said, we get to the point where children are raising each other on the streets in this society. I mean, that's just bad, and then we wonder why you got the problems with rising crime. You got the problem with gangs and gang violence and all this stuff. That all contributes directly from the father and being irresponsible as a parent. And like I said, those mothers who choose to be irresponsible as well as a parent, that has a whole lot to do with it, whether people want to admit it or not, or overlook it or not, that has a whole lot to do with it, and so, like I said before, I mean, this is actually real. I mean, this is just not no game. We dealing with a explosive generation because of this problem. Whether we want to admit it or not, or accept it or not. And this is why, our communities, our black communities, as you want to call it, which I don't really refer to that as, but many of you, especially in the pro-black conscious community, want to call it the black community. I mean, we are, we definitely are at an all-time low with this parenting thing. We don't, I mean, it ain't nothing like it was back in the 70s. I mean, even when parents who couldn't raise their own children, they left them on church steps, or they left them, to be raised by other responsible family members that would take care of the children. They don't even do that no more. They either turn them over to the state themselves or dump them in, leave them in garbage dumpsters. Mothers get pregnant with their babies after they had a baby, drop off and leave her in the garbage dumpster to be collected by the garbage, get collected by the garbage collectors, that type of situation, I mean, it's just the type of society we're living in today. And it's just crazy, I mean, it's just got cold blood all time around. And all time, how, where, I just seen court cases in social media where parents, you know what I'm saying, actually kill their children in a very neglectful manner. You know, without no care. Leave them around guns where they could fire off the pistols and shoot themselves or others, and all kind of stuff. Then you find these parents getting charged with all kind of child neglect, charges and stuff. Getting all kind of child neglect charges because of how they neglect their children. And I have to say, back in the 70s, when I was coming up, you didn't have so much of that, but now you do. And I mean, hey, these parents, like I said, if you don't want your children, then you shouldn't lay in the bed and have them. And that's the bottom line. I mean, because you're going to just bring a child in the world, just a human being, period, in the world, just to let them go through this suffering, knowing what kind of world this is anyway, that you bringing them in, then they got to suffer because of your neglect toward them, then you don't even need to lay up in bed and have them. and that's my thing with that too. So, like I said, I mean, it is what it is. And you know, I mean, we already got enough misfits as far as parents go, and then you producing all these other future misfit parents because they gonna grow up and do the same thing like you did and abandon their children and leave them, you know, to only mothers to take care of them. And then, like I said, go from one woman to another and do the same thing, or skip town and go to another city and do it, because they owe child support in another jurisdiction, so they run to another jurisdiction and do the same thing. And it becomes a continuing cycle. I mean, it's just crazy. And this is definitely a concurrent thing with black people, and they need to stop it. We need to stop it. We're producing an explosive generation because of this. And then those of you, especially in the pro-black conscious community, you always talking about or wondering why we may be facing extermination. Well, parenting, irresponsible parenting plays a part in it. And that's just a fact, as someone would say. But like I said, I'm not gonna be long, because I wasn't planning on being long. But I just wanted to just speak on my acknowledging of Sister Tangee and what she had to say, and because like I said, as a uncle and a granduncle, of niece and nephews, that my deceased sister, who is the mother and grandmother left behind, I care for them, although I'm not physically there to care for them, but I do care for them, and I do try whenever I talk to them. Sometimes, I do try to give them positive encouragement, you know, so that they could be better people in life. And that's the only thing I can do personally myself. But I allow the parent to do their job, which is not my place. However, but if I could be of a positive influence, I will, But like I said, I mean, I just understood where the sister was coming from, and she, like I say, she had some definite points, and I'll tell you, those of you that do watch Reality Temple Ministries, go to Reality Temple Ministries, and you'll see the video with her picture popping up on it, Sister Tangee, and just go straight to it and listen to what she was saying. And so I think the video was called Father's Day or something like that. It's relating to Father's Day, but the brother Angel Snup Snup 7 got it posted on there on his channel, so go watch it. I mean, it's a very informative video. He had his own little say before she, for a video clip of her popped up on it, and showed what she had to say, and stuff like that. But go watch it. And because it's very informative, and a lot of fathers need to hear that video, particularly soul brothers who are fathers as well, that I'm particularly also referring to, and like I said, I wasn't going to plan on continuing because I got other things to do for the rest of this evening. With that said, I'm out of 5,000. Peace.